Video is about something I have to do on a regular basis, but I rarely ever think about it because I just do it automatically, and it might be useful for you. How can you know for sure a YouTube channel has been taken down? Why, how, and when? Now, we're going to be doing an example of an Australian content creator. That's a self-claimed statement by him that I dug up. But we're looking for Joe Lewis, otherwise known as Crime Knight. That's the only information I was given, so we're going to do the first thing. First of all, we can do this in YouTube, but we want to do this in Google. Google, even though it doesn't let you look at the cached copy of anything anymore, which was exactly how I would do this normally, it allows you to get the advantage of it. Basically, you have to look up the subject matter and hope that Google hasn't gone ahead and memory hold everything, because they will make a person an unperson pretty easily. Now, here we go looking it up and we get a playlist. Now the playlist, if we open it up, let's just try that. It'll show either a bunch of blank entries that might lead to a video, or in this case, it's completely gone. But what did we find? YouTube.com @ Joe Lewis Crime Knight. Literally, that's the name of the channel. Maybe. Now we can't confirm that. We want to look for that kind of a link, so we're going to look for Joe Lewis Crime Knight showing up in here. And here's another one, Delphi After Dark, and blah, blah, blah. But here's Little Joe Lewis talking about Delphi, yada, 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 that sort of thing. We're not seeing at the link. Oh, wait a minute, there it is. Review and discuss on BitChute. Tonight I will review and discuss, react to debunk Mr. Joe Lewis at Joe Lewis at Crime Knight. That @ symbol, Joe Lewis at Crime Knight, right here, we're going to grab it. And we're going to see if it's exactly the same thing. If we see that by just doing this, it says it's not available. Now, the reason it says it's not available versus this channel has been flagged is this is a username. The channel itself is a completely different link. It'll say /channel/ and then a string of numbers and letters that are arbitrary. That's how it's supposed to do it. There's also a vanity license plate type link, but YouTube has deprecated that. So right now we have a pretty good idea what we're looking for. So the next step, and we'll see it here, this Australian content creator example, because in here it mentions Australian content creator. He's complaining, I want my channel brought back, blah, blah, blah. I found that on another page. But anyway, we Google search the name and find ghost that leads to, and it leads to that. So now we know it's a missing, and a missing YouTube channel has no explanation. It'll say the page isn't available. Sorry about that. Try searching for something else. And by the way, when you cut and paste this, it'll do all sorts of interesting carriage return and line feed hacks to you. Neat. But anyway, that's our link. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click that, copy. This is what I do instinctively. And I go here and I look up under archive.org. Wait for freaking ever. And then we put that in and see the last time it was put up. And we see it's 2024. We go to the last posting and hope that it's not just a picture of it when it was erased. So that shows November something or other. Let's see, November 23rd, there was a page. And we're going to see what it looks like. The ultimate reasoning here is we want an explanation, and we want to see if it's really been erased. Now again, we don't know if this is the correct Joe Lewis and or Crime Knight, but that's pretty specific. So next, we then look the archive testing it as I've just done. And we see it listed as Crime Knight and Little Joe Lewis in the name. And we'll see it up here in a minute. It says Little Joe Lewis right here and Crime Knight here. So we know that we can look them up under those names, and Crime Knight will be the easiest one to look up under. Now, right now we have that, so let's just leave that right there for a second. And let's go back here and look up by inserting in front of our Google search, which we now slide forward. Our next step is to look up under socialblade. Since we can see Crime Knight and Joe Lewis as part of the URL, it might include both. We might delete one or another. And I'm not doing a spell check on it because I don't care. Let's see. Here we go. Socialblade, top charts, yada, yada. We're not seeing it. Now, if the user doesn't have a lot of gravitas, as they sometimes call it, then maybe we won't see it. We'll do it under Crime Knight. Socialblade, Crime Knight, other channels. Okay, let's see if it comes up. Verifying you're a human, which if you're not aware of it, we've all had disclosed to us. This is not a verification you're a human. This is an excuse to insert a tracking cookie. So anyway, we get this, and it says Crime Knight. It shows it's blank. This may or may not be useful information, but it gives us a URL with this number of, this bunch of characters. So let's try this. Do Chan, do this. Okay, it says C+, and it says Crime Night at Crime Night. No, that's not useful. So what we want to do is, at that point, we need to put in not Crime Night. We're going to do Joe Louis Crime Night. That should give us the same page, right? Because that's the one that's missing. I mean, this is the one that we had show up being 404 not found. So let's just go here and put that in. We put that in as a string and see if it gives us a better answer. Now it gave us the correct one. And we get this at the end here. It's a string of characters, UC05, and it ends in QXA. And let's see if we can just take away some usefulness from this. We put in at here where it says socialblade.com/YouTube. We substitute that part with .com. We get rid of the social blade part like this. And we go here. This is actually using the channel URL code or the channel ID code. We also want to copy that, so I'm going to highlight and copy that and hit enter. And the first thing that comes up should be the real response page, which is the deprecated one YouTube doesn't want to show you because it's old school, and it says the account has been terminated because it received third-party claims of copyright infringement regarding material used, the poster used. So the user posted, excuse me. Now, right now we grab this. Let's see if this is giving us exactly the same page as Crime Night here. We go here, archive.org. We put this in instead, and we look in 2024 again. That's the last time it was up. Let's see if we get something about the same time. Okay, we get November 22nd. We click this. What we've done is we used the channel ID, which gives us the real reasoning behind it, or rationale or irrationale, flag for copyright infringement. And we got that by using Joe Louis Crime Night, and it ended up being a URL. Now, if this is the wrong channel that someone's trying to look up, then we would continue looking. But again, it started with us really just Googling the names and hoping we got an URL. And we did. Even though it was a playlist link, we could figure it'd be some other user. It ended up being one of his own playlists he made. Now, the other thing about this is, in case you haven't noticed it, the channel URL finishes loading this video. Let me just close the one that has the at Joel Lewis name and just uses the ID code. The ID code does a lot less restriction on what you're allowed to do on the page. It's the old school YouTube channel formatting and methodology, and more importantly, code, the JavaScript, everything. Up to and including, we might be able to play the video. Let's see what happens when I try to play it. Remember, the other one was in a continuous loop like this one, trying to play a video that's probably completely erased. And this one at least shows us the thumbnail for it. This is what the thumbnail is. And it seems to be trying to load it. So, yeah, what this appears to be is a YouTube channel that used other people's content under fair use or not, and got flagged for, well, copyright violation. So this thing, the page isn't available, sorry about that, versus the real answer, which again we cut and paste it with the channel ID code. We get the real answer, which is, again, it should show up on screen when it feels like it. The account has been terminated because it received multiple third-party claims of copyright infringement regarding material the user posted. And that's it. Again, you've been memory redacted and it has an accusation. I have a channel that says that I did harassment, for instance, if you look it up this way. But all it says here is a nondescript that they can't be sued for defaming you. The page isn't available. Sorry about that. Look for something else. Anyway, that's about it. And yeah, a web archive, if it does archiving, is useful this way. Now, a little pro tip. Archive all the channels you like. Archive each page. Archive all of it. The About page, even though it comes up as a pop-up, can be archived. When you do that, it makes it to where there's a record it existed, and it might help people find out what happened. If it isn't archived manually, it may not be done automatically, and you may never know what the hell happened when you lose a channel or an entire website or a friend on the internet. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And this is not an endorsement of anything about this. This is simply how to locate information on a redacted channel that's been memory holed by YouTube and Google because they're absolutely batshit crazy about censorship. Good day.